For over 340 years, Grosvenor has worked to improve properties and places to deliver lasting commercial and social benefit through architectural design, enhancing public realm, and providing memorable experiences for the community. We recently renovated our office and retail building at 1500 K Street, which has been a historic fixture in Washington, D.C. since 1928. We carefully balanced revitalizing historical elements with modern technology and sustainable systems. Creating inviting and dynamic places for people to enjoy also means finding creative ways to encourage interaction. One way we try to do this is by making art more accessible in our community. The pandemic has limited our ability to access art, so we created an exhibition space at 1500K where we are featuring the works of Pakan.
I grew up in Cambodia. I was born in 1953. I started painting when I be around 12, and I started selling my work at the gallery and also at the gift shop in Phnom Penh in Cambodia. It's in early 70s. The war already started in Cambodia a little bit already, and we have a lot of American people work in Cambodia by that time. And one of the gentlemen happened to buy one of my paintings. The people that sold him the painting at the store told him this is done by a 12-year-old boy. He was so happy. He tried to be friends with my family and stuff, and tried to encourage my parents to get me to come to United States to study art, and he was willing to help my parents to get me over here. July 1973. So far has been 47 years that I've been here.
Cambodian-born Pakan is an oil painter of many dimensions. His experimentation with an array of colours using his palette knife and brush produces vibrancy and motion that create a three-dimensional effect. His works have graced the walls of various embassies internationally, including the West Wing of the White House. Pakan discovered his passion for painting at a young age, selling some of his early works in Phnom Penh, where he lived with his family. In 1973, an American Foreign Service diplomat who came across Pakan's work in Phnom Penh realised his talent and aided Pakan in his sponsorship to the Corcoran School of Art in Washington, D.C. Pakan left the war-torn conditions in Cambodia on one of the last few flights departing on the eve of the war. Pakan was enthusiastic to attend art school, but faced immense change upon his arrival to the US that brought hardships for years to come. He barely knew the language and had limited funds to support himself, with no immediate family or friends to help. He was also separated from his high school sweetheart, Paula. During this time, Pakan's art used darker undertones reflecting the challenges he faced and what he's known for today, which is bright, vibrant paintings. After 2 years in the US, Pakan purchased a ticket to France to find his love, Paula. Finding her in France was not guaranteed, as writing letters was their main form of communication. Thankfully, the pair were successfully reunited at the airport and married shortly thereafter at a local courthouse. Pakan and Paula started their new life together in the US. Pakan obtained his citizenship, the pair purchased their first home and started a family, all while tirelessly searching refugee camps for lost family members in Cambodia. Art was Pakan's true passion, but family came first. With a heavy heart, Pakan left the Corcoran to pursue a career that would earn more money for his family. He established and managed his own construction business, starting from scratch, gaining experience by working on remodelling projects and building homes. Pakan's natural artistic ability eventually led him to architectural design on these projects, including high-valued homes of notable figures in the Washington, D.C. area. However, after encouragement from his clients, family and friends not to throw away his artistic talent, Pakan decided to retire from construction and return to art full-time in 2002. Going back to being an artist full-time was an adjustment. It had been a long stretch since Pakan had painted last, But in picking up the brush again, he reconnected back to his true calling.
Since I came here in the United States, I've been so fortunate to have so many good friends support me, and my special friend Peter Rouse have supported me since early 1980, and he still support me until now. Give me a big boost of morale to keep doing this.
Pakan's return from his artistic hiatus resulted in experimentation with new colours, techniques and subject matter that in time brought him to where he is today as an artist.
Most of my work is done mostly with palette knife. It consists of so many layers of paint, and it take time. It take a long time, but once I get it done, it look a lot better than I work with brush. Palette knife is difficult to work with. You cannot control the knife like you control the brush, but the painting become more realistic and more vivid and more three-dimensional than brush. To me, brush sort of like the painting is not alive compared to palette knife. I enjoy so much to work with palette knife every day. I guess this is the way I'm gonna continue to paint the rest of my life. It burns a lot of paint. It just takes so much time, but the result is just incredible. It's difficult to work with palette knife, so most of the time I tend to pick up my brush, go back to my brush because it's faster and it's easier. Many times I have to stop myself, don't use the brush, you have to stick with palette knife. I fought with myself all the time, so you just don't rush. I'm just gonna stick with palette knife until I cannot paint anymore.
Some of Pakan's notable accomplishments include presenting his painting Chicago Skyline to President Obama at the White House and paint portraits of President Obama, and then the first Iranian female space explorer, Anousheh Ansari, for the Colorado Springs Space Museum.
Summer 2009, I got honored to get to meet President Obama at the White House. It's such a great honor to meet him and show him some of my painting. So I loaned the White House 3 paintings. I was very honored to get a chance to have my painting displayed at the White House for the whole 8 years. My last trip, I was excited to find out that we still have the beautiful red crown crane. I spent so much time trying to capture those birds and put in my painting. In my early day, I did a lot of Cambodian landscape, especially people live permanently on water. Incredible scene to see how people be able to live like that and in a natural environment. I capture a lot of those moments and put in my painting, and to my surprise, people really like it. I never thought that people here appreciate the Cambodia scenery painting. I had a good friend took me to Japan. He was so proud about my work and he wanted to show me his hometown. It's called Yuki Town. It's about 600 miles from Tokyo. When I got there, it's just so beautiful. So I took a lot of beautiful pictures, and when I came back home, I started painting it right away. It's a big painting. It took me about a year and a half to complete that painting because it's so detailed. The painting is painted with tiny brush and palette knife. I try to detail every section of the painting as much as possible. People always say that, look at that painting, they feel like they can walk into that beach themselves. The way I work with that painting, I divide it in sections. So I work like every day I can do only a few inches, square inches at a time. So that's why it took so long. It's so detailed that every dot is so tiny, like it's sort of like hairline dot, and every dot, the color is different. When you stand back, you look at the painting, it's so realistically done. Since then, I haven't done anything that detailed like that one again. To me, to paint is easy, but to find the incredible subject is difficult. The subject is so important for each painting. I guess that's the reason people really appreciate all my painting about Cambodia. The subject go from flower to local people, the village people. I enjoy painting everything that is natural. My flower subject example, I paint the flower in their natural environment. It takes a lot of energy to paint something like this. I have to be in such a stage, sort of like out of my body to paint something like this. I was so emotional and tried to create this. So it really showed in the painting. I hope people enjoyed it. I'm still studying every day how the sun works on things. So my work mostly involved with sunlight, and I'm trying to capture the best of nature, put in my painting as possible. To be an artist is not easy. It's very hard. It's a tough life. You have to deal with the everyday life like any other ordinary people. But to be an artist, you born with this brain is like a roller coaster. Every day is up and down, up and down.
Pakan's story is an encouraging example in the pursuit of the American dream as a young immigrant artist from Cambodia. Inspiration we could all draw from wherever your passions lie, be it in the culinary arts, performing arts, design, architecture, fine arts, or having a strong vision to the future of technology. Success can be yours, and the world will benefit from your individual passion to pursue, fine-tune, and grow.